The most memorable events in our lives are the things that don't mean as much to others, but are the things that stick with us for the rest of our lives. You can tell that story and it means nothing to someone. And every time that you tell it, the smell of what you smelled at that time comes back to you. The feeling that was inside, the thoughts that were in your head. For me, my most memorable event came from when I was in Iraq. I was sitting on a checkpoint and it was over 120 degrees. I had sweat dripping down my back and the guys were sitting around me talking and playing cards and waiting for the next Iraqi to come through. But what happened was a woman came through, and my job was to search the women, to check them for any kind of bomb devices, for cords, for anything that could possibly be used to hurt anyone inside of the green zone. But with her she brought a baby, and this was a gorgeous little dark-haired beautiful girl. Absolutely beautiful. She had these chubby cheeks and smiled and kicked her little feet, and every time she smiled her entire face lit up and she got this sparkle in her eyes. And so, along with searching females, I got to search the children. This woman hands me this child and I go ahead and I pat her down and I open up her diaper and check inside to make sure they haven't tucked anything inside the lining. And when I'm done, this little girl who's about 7 months of age reaches out and wants a hug, and I of course give it to her and send her along on her way. Fast forward to about 8 hours later. The same woman comes back through the checkpoint again. This time, once again, she has the beautiful little girl. And the little girl is covered in sweat. She doesn't have her sparkle anymore. She is exhausted. And the woman hands her to me to, I assume, search. And as I'm doing it, she looks at my interpreter and she tells her that she wants me to take the baby home with me. That the baby's had diarrhea for days, that she's worried about her, that she can't afford to take care of her anymore. And she knows that if I took her back to the United States with me, that she would have a better opportunity. She couldn't think of a better mother. And at this point in time, I had never had kids. In fact, I didn't plan on having kids. And I looked into the eyes of this beautiful little girl, and I fell in love with her. She was amazing. But I couldn't take her home with me. It didn't matter how sick she was. It didn't matter how much this woman thought that I would be a wonderful mother. I couldn't take her home. So I handed the woman back her baby and I told her to come see me the next day. And then when she was there, I made sure that that baby went home with plenty of diapers and things to keep her safe and healthy. About 2 weeks later, she brought the little girl back through the checkpoint, and she was healthy and happy and smiling again and just beautiful. It was amazing to see that sparkle in her eyes again, and to know that I had had a part of that sparkle. To know that this woman, just from meeting me, just from talking to me for a few minutes, trusted me enough to take home her precious, precious baby. That is my most memorable event. It's something that no one can ever take away from me. It's something that's important. It's something that means so much. It's something that impacted my life. I appreciate the opportunity to share my story. It's not something that I get to tell very often, but I do tell people that actually matter. And I tell people that need to know, that want to know. Not everything in Iraq is bad. There are good people who want to do good things, and there's a lot of good that was done. That was my good.